How you doing, guys? Big Mate Danskull here again today, back once again with another Warhammer 40k Conquest video. Today I'm going to be taking a look at issue 11. So, issue 11, let's take a look, shall we? But first, if it seems like I'm rushing through this, it's because I've just been recording the video. I've recorded it all already, and I got to the back page and everything, and I was wondering why is my phone making noises at me. It's because I ran out of storage space, so I chopped off the ending by accident. But also, when I actually went to watch the video back, there was no sound. So I'm going to be rushing through this a little bit, but I'll try and cover all the points that I made. I've had a practice run, haven't I? I should be good at it this time. So issue 11. We've got the Primaris Aggressors in here. They're £20 normally if you buy them direct from Games Workshop, so you're saving yourself £12 and a penny. If you were to buy them from a third-party retailer, you're probably looking at somewhere between £16 and £18. It's still a decent saving of at least £8 and a penny. On to the first page. So the first page has got this lovely image of the aggressors burning heretics or the floor. It looks like they're just burning the floor there to me. Let's get rid of that first page, shall we? So it just looks like they're burning the floor there to me with this one. But that floor probably needed burning. Gives you some information here about what the aggressors are and the role they fill in the Space Marines forces. Just in case you're wondering, it's like a close fire support sort of role. And they've got this big tough armour that protects them so they can get closer to the enemy, even if they are a little bit slower than your standard Primaris Marine. Here it gives you information about the type of armour, and it gives you some points here. So point 1 is here, 3 there, 2 there, 5 and so on and so forth. And it just points out what each one is. So the Fragstorm Grenade Launcher is up top there, and the Boltstorm Gauntlet is number 4 here. So the Boltstorm Gauntlet and Fragstorm Grenade Launcher aren't actually available to build in this Aggressors kit, because this is easy to build Aggressors kit. It only comes with the Flamestorm Gauntlets. So they're giving you that image and they're sort of teasing you. But I think what they want you to do is go out to Games Workshop and buy the full Aggressors kit so you can build it in this setup if you wanted to. But that's just a theory I'm working on there. And then it gives you more lore. So we go on to the Warzone Ultramar. What I like about this is, for me, since the Cicatrix Maledictum opened up, going across the galaxy, the big warp rift that goes across the galaxy, we've seen it in previous issues. Since that opened up, I've not been that up to date on the lore that's available, and I'm getting little snippets of it throughout this. I was going to say subscription then, but I'm not subscribed anymore. But throughout each issue of these magazines, these little green bits here, greeny yellowy bits, are major invasions of the Death Guard into the Ultramar subsector. So they've got as far as Macragge, and they're actually doing some damage on Macragge. Try to make a foothold in these outer worlds here, or systems, and then they're getting closer to Macragge and invading Macragge eventually, and a hive world called Ardium, which is in the Macragge star system. It gives you a little bit more information about that in closer detail here. March of the Plagues, and there's a stalemate on Espandor, which is one of the worlds of Ultramar, and Deadlock and Ajax Befouled. And then the next bit of lore we get is about the Salamanders. It gives you a little bit of information about certain characters, but it's more of like an overview of a conflict that occurred between the Salamanders and the Orcs. It mentions a couple of characters. The Orc forces were led by Warlord Garka, and so there's a squad of aggressors that were particularly effective in this battle, and they then became known as the Infernal, this squad of aggressors. And then it gives you a quick snippet of what Salamanders are and their sort of maybe battlefield doctrines. Let's read it, shall we? The Salamanders are one of the most respected Space Marine chapters in the Imperium. They are based on the volcanic death world of Nocturne. Every member has skin as black as ebony and eyes as red as blood, mutations caused by the extreme radiation of Nocturne's atmosphere. There we go. So it's a brief snippet of what the Salamanders are. We've already seen Orcs, so we're moving on to the how to build section now. I just want to say as well, in a previous video, I said I don't know why they have so many pages. They could have one fewer page of the how to build, or they could have one fewer page of the painting section, and then just give you more lore or give you more playing tips. But it always needs to be an even number of pages, because if you notice, the lore pages are marked out with red, and then the how to build pages are marked out with blue. And there's always a blue page on a blue page, and that's because when you separate this, because as you saw the front page came off there, when you separate this and put it into your binder that you get if you're subscribed, and then you're supposed to separate those sections, so you've got all your how to build stuff together, all of your how to paint stuff together, all of your lore together, and all of your play stuff together. So that's why you can't have a blue section here and then a yellow section there, because then your how to paint would be mixed in with your how to build. So thank you to a subscriber who commented on that previous video. But I still think this how to build is spread over 4 pages. I think they could have this and this on one page and then just have that on another page if they wanted to. So they could have it on 2 pages instead of 4. Moving on. There's not really anything new there. There is something else I'd like to point out. They've completely given up now on naming the Space Marines. If they continued with that, I would have been impressed. He could have been Barry. This guy here could have been Paul. And this guy could have been the other Chuckle brother that nobody knows the name of. Anyway, on to the how to paint. So how to paint aggressors. It's more of the same. This is one of the criticisms I have of this series, is we're not getting the paints quick enough. So they're basically showing you, issue after issue, the same way to paint a Space Marine. In the Space Marine issues, and in the Death Guard issues, there's a bit more variation in the Death Guard, because we have the Poxwalkers, which are painted slightly different to the Death Guard Plague Marines. But next issue, it's a Plague Marine character we're getting. The first Plague Marine character, yes. And that's just going to be like, effectively, that's just going to be like painting the Death Guard. So you've got 4 pages there dedicated to how to paint, and I don't think you need them really. They could just give you a few views of the completed model, and you can realise where you want to put your gold, where you want to put your black, where you want to put your silver, where you want to put your blue. Until they give you new paints, I don't think it's really necessary to give you 4 pages of how to paint. You know, you can work out, well, I'll get the paint on the brush, and then I'll put it on this part of the miniature. I'll get the paint on the brush, and I'll put it on that part of the miniature. You know, I think people are clever enough to be able to work that out. Just give you a view from all around the aggressor, each of the aggressors even. So one from the front, one from the left, one from the right, one from the back, and then they could have the how to paint section just on 2 pages instead of on 4 pages, and save themselves some pages for play or for lore. But anyway, let's continue into the play section now. So this is the Cleansing Flame. I'll set you up with a narrative. As the Honour of Ultramar tussles with the Rotbringer, Death Guard forces continue to assault the Ultramarines' vessel. The Space Marines send forth a trio of Primaris aggressors, some of their most powerful close-quarters units, to stem the tide. Confronting them are a large force of Death Guard, made up of pestilent, shambling Poxwalkers, and a trio of their disgustingly mutated Plague Marine masters. That's basically the narrative they want you to play out in this battle. You've got 12 Poxwalkers, 3 Death Guard, facing off against 3 aggressors. The aggressors seem pretty outnumbered. It's going to be a daunting challenge for them here. But I think the aggressors can do it. I think that's more even than it actually looks at first glance, because don't forget the aggressors have 2 wounds each, the Death Guard only have 1 wound each. And then it tells you what you'll need. You'll need your Poxwalkers, 3 Plague Marines, 3 aggressors, your measuring devices, your dice or random number generators, and yeah, that's it. You can crack on with that playing. It also gives you the rules for the aggressors. It's your standard Space Marine stat line really. Ballistic skill is 3+, weapon skill 4+, to wound 5 and 3, so that's 5 on the Plague Marines, 3 on the Poxwalkers. To wound in close combat, 3 and 2 on the Plague Marines and the Poxwalkers. So even in close combat, the aggressors are effective. They've got weapons called Flamestorm Gauntlets, And in close combat, that counts as a power fist as well. So that's why the 2+ to wound in close combat against the Poxwalkers and 3+ against the Space Marines. They only get 2 attacks in close combat. They've got a 3-up save, 2 wounds, and they move 5 inches, where a normal Space Marine will move 6 inches. The Flamestorm Gauntlets themselves are the focus of this rule section, really. Automatic hits, that's what we're talking about with Flamestorm Gauntlets. You get 2 dice because you've got 2 Flamestorm Gauntlets, and you roll them, and that's how many hits you get. So if you get a 1 on one and a 6 on the other, then you get 7 hits in total. It's as simple as that. You don't have to roll to hit either, so you don't roll 7 dice then to see if each one hits. You roll 2 dice, the number you get on the 2 dice added up is your number of hits. So if you rolled a 12, you'd get 12 hits, and you could hit 12 Poxwalkers all in one go. Fantastic. And then you turn the page again, and Auto Hits in Overwatch is the title there. So, Auto Hits in Overwatch? Surely not. Yes, even in Overwatch, so if the Poxwalkers try to charge one aggressor, the aggressor has a chance of hitting every single Poxwalker. And because they're wounding on 3s, they've got a good chance of taking a good number of them out as well. So these auto-hit weapons are really effective. Other races have them. I can think of the Tyranids have certain... Tyranids have biomorphs, not weapons. It's like a separate parasite that is effectively a weapon. But let's call it a biomorph because that's what they call it in the lore. So a Tyranid biomorph that might do this is some kind of acid gun that it sort of belches forth, and then it's a big cloud of acid and it gives an auto-hit effect. And then onto the final battle report, Burn the Traitor. So the aim of this game is for the aggressors, who will start over here, have to get to one of these 3 objective markers or deployment markers within 4 turns. If they do that, they win the game. And if the Death Guard prevent them from doing that, the Death Guard win the game. You can also win the game a second way by wiping out your opponent. So the surviving side wins the game as well if one side's wiped out. Don't forget that the aggressors can use Codex Discipline rule from Replay Mission 6. So it's referring you back to other issues there. If you've already sorted your issues out into the binder, just go straight to your Replay Mission section and then find that rule in Replay Mission 6. And there we have it. That's pretty much the last page, other than weapons updates. So we've got weapons updates for the Plasma Gun, the Blight Launcher, and the Multi-Melter in this issue. And then, what's coming next? So we've got the Death Guard character. It's the first one, and it's the Blightspawn. Fantastic looking character. He's got a Nurgling there as well, so that's our first Nurgling that we're going to get to paint. Unfortunately, I don't think with the paints we've got, we're going to do him justice. So I'll probably be using other paints to paint him. And I'd suggest you nip out and grab some other paints yourself, because I'm very impatient when it comes to painting. I want to know how to make it look like that, rather than like the aggressors here, which still look quite bland in my opinion. And then after that, we're getting some terrain. Yes! I love terrain, and I love these armoured containers from Games Workshop. If I remember rightly, it's about £25 for 3 normally. So you're making a tiny saving on these when you're getting 1 in each issue. But still, I do love these armoured containers and the barrels and stuff. It's just that kind of thing that sort of makes you Battlefield, in my opinion. So I'm looking forward to them as well. After that, in issue 14, we're going to be getting a brush and another paint finally. But I just think they need to introduce the paints a bit quicker than they are doing. Hopefully they will do soon. Hopefully in issues 14 is that one. So hopefully we'll get a few more paints in issues 15 to 18. But we'll see. So that's it, guys. That's all I've got for you now. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you on the battlefield.